the world's little changes, and waiting for you to change. We're mountains touch the ladder. We bring you innovation, fulfill your expectation. We make it brighter, stronger, success all around. We make it brighter, stronger. This is the road, transforming your life. We show you the way. We'll bring you good news. We got all it takes, all you need to bring the best in you. We got all it takes, all you need to bring the best in you.
Today is a very interesting day. You probably saw on our Facebook timeline some couple of minutes ago that we posted something that we have some dangerous combinations right here in the studio, and I tell you, this place is really getting hot because I can see so two great combinations, and I'll be telling you about them right after now. My name is Olawale Perfect, and I'm right here on Wisdom Gate Internet Radio. Remember, you can be part of this program by listening to us 247 from any part of the world, www.WiGRadio.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/WiGRadio, or on Twitter via twitter.com/WiGRadio. And you could also call in when the lines are open. The number to call is +234 8182787706. I'll take that number again. The number to call is +234 8182787706. And I have with me here two great men, two great special people, sincerely. And you know, I'm really trying to cope with the heat in this place because the academic heat I'm feeling here is so much, but it's really so exciting. I have on my left and on my right, I have the best brains in Lagos State, and I tell you, the best brains in Nigeria, the best brains on planet Earth. I have with me Mr. Godwin Benson. Godwin Benson is the best graduating student in Lagos State 2006. And he was also the best graduating student from the Faculty of Engineering, University of Lagos. He was third best graduating student, University of Lagos, 2012. And I tell you, it's a great achievement. It's a great achievement. Mr. Godwin Benson, you are welcome to WiGRadio.
Thank you so much, Mr. Perfect. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, so happy to have you around. And I also have with me a young chap, you know, also a best brain, the best graduating student, 2012, also Lagos State. And I have with me Mr. Josiah Akpan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome to WiGRadio. Okay, that is the two people we have in the studio today, and we'll be talking about academic excellence. And I tell you, if you are out there listening right now and you are thinking, you are wondering, how can I be better academically? This is the program to listen to. Don't go anywhere. We'll be going on a short music break now, and when we are back, we'll be going full length into our discussion with them. I tell you, they have so much for us.
WiGRadio, WiGRadio, reaching to the world, fulfill your expectation. WiGRadio, WiGRadio, transforming lives globally, transforming lives globally.
Nobody else like you, Jesus, our Father. Your beauty none compared. Tell him, Lord, you are so great. You are great. There is none like you. There is none like you.
having a very interesting time here. We are having a very, very interesting time here. The song you've been listening to is With All My Heart by Sinash. And my name has not changed. My name is still Olawale Perfect, and I'm writing in WiGRadio. Like I said earlier on, I said we have two great people with me here in the studio today, and we'll be talking about academic excellence. Academic excellence. But before we go into full length, I think it will be good to have them introduce themselves and tell us one or two things about themselves. So, Mr. Godwin Benson, what do you want to tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Godwin Benson, like has been said.
Okay. Busy Benson.
Busy Benson. Yeah, that's what people call me. And well, I think my portfolio has been read.
Okay. Maybe there's something else, one other thing that...
one other thing you didn't mention is that I'm also the president of Trans Student World.
Wow.
Which is a platform I started to inspire students all over the world on how to achieve surpassing academic excellence. So that's me. Basically, I do everything I can to help people achieve surpassing academic excellence for the time being.
Okay, you just heard from the president of Trans Student World. Trans Student World is a platform to help students to achieve academic excellence. And I tell you, if you're a student listening right now, the best place to be is on Trans Student World. Okay, and Mr. Josiah Akpan, is there any other thing about yourself you would like to tell us?
Okay. I was also the assistant senior boy when I was in school.
Wow,
and
ASP.
I'm presently the president of the Pace Setters, a group on Facebook,
okay,
where different teenagers come together and contribute things, articles in developing themselves. They come together to get ideas, get things they can apply to their life to change themselves.
Wow. So you just heard from the president of the Pace Setters on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. So if you are online now, you could just check out the Pace Setters Facebook group, and I feel so privileged to be sitting between two presidents. I'm already feeling like a president myself. So let's start with Mr. Josiah Akpan. I read something you posted on Facebook recently. From the son of a crayfish seller to Lagos best student. How did it happen?
Okay, first of all,
I want our emphasis to be on that word, the son of a crayfish seller. You know, to me, I was like, okay, Josiah, I probably feel that those who achieve academic excellence must be people from a rich family who have the money to buy the textbook, who have the money to go to the best schools in Nigeria, and you know, seeing it, the son of a crayfish seller, you know, there's another son of a crayfish seller out there who's probably listening to this right now, and it's like, it is not possible. So, how did it happen?
Okay, first of all, I give glory to God for making me come tops in the exam, but something else should be brought to book. We need to state it that when it comes to excellence, it is not your background that really matters. It's not whether you are poor or whether you are rich. When you get into the exam hall, you will not be tested for your wealth. You will be tested for the information you have in your brain, for the quality of things you have stored upstairs. And so, anybody can achieve and attain academic excellence. When I was in school, I do read about lots of people, especially Ben Carson. I read about him. His mom worked in 4 different jobs, menial jobs, and yet she was advising Ben to keep it up, that he can do what any other person can do, only that he can do it better. So those kind of things inspired me that it is not really your background that can set what you achieve in life. That is your mindset, your mentality.
Okay, it's your mindset that determines what you become and not your background. So you said one of the people that inspired you is Benjamin Carson. And I don't know if it's a coincidence that Ben is in the studio with us now. Right. Even though his own is Benson.
Exactly.
His own is Benson. But is that something? Yeah, there's Ben there. Ben there. So do you think Ben Carson is also one of the people that inspired you, Mr. Godwin Benson?
Well, Ben Carson has his place in my formation actually. But I was, I think, to a large extent, yes, I was inspired by the fact that because but when I was in primary 3,
Okay.
I was really, really dumb.
No. You need to say that again. When you were in primary 3.
Exactly. I could neither read a single sentence correctly in English or solve any maths question correctly. That was how bad it was. In fact, I usually make reference to the fact to when my elder brother asked me to spell the past tense of buy, and I spelled B-O-T. That's but.
Oh my God.
You know, that as at primary 3, it was that bad. But then I was inspired by my grandma because she, as at primary 4, she believed in me. You know, I came home one day with my result out of 24 in class. I was number 20. You know, so I was promoted on trial or something like that. So she came and she said that, you know, my boy cannot be a blockhead. That, you know, I would take up responsibility to build him up. So after school, normally we go out and play. You know, she banned me for playing. So after school, I go into her room. So she began to teach me from beginning how to count, how to add 2 plus 5 using my fingers and all. In fact, sometimes I try to think how dull must I have been that as of my 3, I still needed someone to teach me how to count. But I think that was really, really
that was the starting point. So is your grandma still alive now?
Yes, she's in the US.
Oh, she's in the US. Wow. Yeah. I wish she was in Nigeria. I would have played a call to her right now. Of which actually she can listen to us now.
She can listen straight from there.
Okay, so your starting point began when your grandma actually said, my grandson is not a blockhead.
Exactly.
Probably there's a parent out there listening right now, or a grandparent listening out now. Well, rather than complaining that, oh, this child is a blockhead, you got something to learn from Godwin Benson's grandma. So after your grandma said, my grandson is not a blockhead, did it just happen overnight and she just said he's not a blockhead, and all of a sudden you found yourself coming from 20th position to first position? What exactly
happened?
After that?
Well, she took up responsibility for my education. You know, that's the mistake most parents make. They put the responsibility for their own child's education on the teachers in school.
Wow.
So they don't put any extra effort to try to educate their own children. So what my grandma did was, after school every day, she would take me into her own room. You know, she would come back from work, take me into her room and lock the door, and we'll begin to do everything I learned in school. Everything. So she would teach me everything. Well, she was learned. So with that, I think what the greatest impact that made was that I began to enjoy reading. You know, before, reading was difficult, boring. I thought, why should I read? I'm just 9 years old. I should be playing.
I should be playing. Wow.
You know, so all that, she began to teach me how to read storybooks, making friends. So even when she stopped, I just couldn't stop reading, because I discovered that if you can teach a child to like to read, you have built him for life, because he can search anything he needs now. I think that was what she did. So even when she stopped, I kept on reading. I just couldn't stop. So I kept on reading, and I saw that I was doing better in class. Normally nobody knew me in class, but they started knowing me, and it was fun. When my results started getting better, I came 10th over 24.
Wow.
You know, she was so happy for me. You know, and I think that carried on, and I developed the habit of reading and a love for knowledge. So that if I pass on the road and I see a signboard, I will stop.
You would want to read it.
I'll read it and see what's there. I kept on reading like that. So no paper will pass my side except I have read it. So that was the
starting point.
That was what changed. So as it went on like that, I could read anything and understand anything. And so I took that on to secondary
and up to university. You'll be telling us more about that. Okay, Mr. Josiah Akpan, on your own part, was there someone like a grandmother or a grandfather that really inspired you, or an authority figure that inspired you, that pushed you? Or like Godwin Benson, was there a time when you were also a blockhead?
Not really. There was
You always been a smart person.
Yes, I've always been a smart person, but the person that inspired me most was my dad, because he was a kind of bookworm. Let me use the term.
Wow.
He couldn't. When he was in school, he left at the age of primary 5 because there was nobody to sponsor him. So he will always put that to us that, see, even then, that that there was no facility, that the standard of education was really poor, he could attain that height that he is now, even though he left school at the age of primary 5. So he really instilled discipline in us to always read. That if you study the lives of great people, that there was nobody that attained greatness without a good mind, and the mind that has been developed through reading.
You know, if there's something I'm getting from the story of the both of you now, I'm getting it that, see, nothing can stop someone who is determined and who has someone to challenge him. Because I feel that, and I think it's something we should talk about. I feel that one of the challenges that young people these days have is that they don't have someone to challenge them. For him, he's saying that his dad challenged him that you must read. I don't want you to stop at primary 5 like myself. And that challenge was one of the things that pushed him to go far. And for you, your grandmother challenged you that my grandson is not a blockhead. So, how many young people are really getting people to challenge them? And I feel that that's one of the things that trans student world is doing. Exactly. And that's one of the things that pace setters is doing. Wow. So interesting. So, let's talk about secondary school. The both of you graduated. Josiah Akpan, in case you are just joining us, this is WiGRadio, and we have in the studio with us Josiah Akpan, the best graduating student in Lagos State 2012, and we also have Godwin Benson, the best graduating student Lagos State 2006, if I'm correct. I'm correct? Yeah. Yes. So, you both graduated as best students in Lagos State. How did it happen? Because, you know, it's easy to say. Now, one of the challenges I usually have with people sometimes is that when you say, how did you do this? It is the grace of God. Now, I know it is the grace of God, definitely. But there's something that the grace of God taught you. There were certain practical things. Now, there's something practical about your life that people out there want to hear, so that they can practice the same thing and they can be able to achieve that same kind of result. So, how did you do it, Mr. Josiah Akpan?
Okay, as you had just said now, that the grace of God was working for me.
Okay.
But that aside, when people ask me this same question, how did I do it? I usually tell them that, see, there's no way you want to be great without working at that. Hard work still works nowadays. Okay. Hard work still
So that's
works.
number one. Hard work. You are listening. So if you are listening out there, there's something you should be doing. You should be penning down some of these important points that these great men are talking about. So he's just mentioned one very key important word now. That is hard work. And he's still going to tell us more about that hard work. Yes, continue, sir.
Hard work in the sense that when I was in school, I had a group of friends. I like calling them my mastermind or my brain network. These were the kind of people that we will resume school by 7 and we'll go home till around 7 p.m. Though our parents usually complain, why are you staying behind in school? And other students would be complaining to the authorities that why can't you release us to go home by 2 or 3:30? But we always stayed behind till 7 p.m. And even when we got home, we did not usually give ourselves rest. I tell somebody that, see, when I was in school, it was a luxury to sleep for 4 hours.
Wow.
It was a luxury. My parents would tell me, won't you relax your eye, your body?
Wait. Tell me something. When you were in school, how many hours do you sleep?
Most times I slept for less than 4 hours.
You sleep for less than 4 hours. Wow, that's really scary. Wow, less than 4 hours as a secondary school student.
The next day when I will be in school, most students will be telling me, Josiah, you have started again. Look at your eye. Look how red it is.
Wow.
What have you taken again?
There's really a price to pay for success.
Sure. A big price.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay.
Hard work.
Apart from hard work, students should not give excuses. I've found that a rampant thing that students do. They like giving excuses. You hear somebody saying, my background is bad, so because of that I can't get the necessary textbooks. When I was in school, I wasn't the kind of person that had all the textbooks. But what I would do is I would borrow a textbook from this person, from another person. I would take all of them, I would take them and combine them together. And by so doing, I even gain more knowledge than those that had the textbook. Others will complain that they weren't going to tutorials to lesson. I'll tell them I also did not go to any lesson.
You mean you did not attend any tutorial?
None.
In fact,
None at all.
if I can
Yes.
come in here,
Yes.
I see a lot of similarity between what he has just said and what I experienced. Because
Wow.
no, the truth is, considering where I've been able to get to now and looking back, casting my mind because of what he has said, I know that he has a lot of potential. But I'm just trying to talk from someone that at least has
That
gone
has
through
passed
those
through it
stages.
before.
Because the qualities he has built into himself would make him outstand almost every other person. Because the truth is, many people are lazy. And this is something that most times when I talk about it, I get so passionate.
Yeah.
Because even while in secondary school, I slept you said 4, mine was not up to 3.
Jesus is
Sincerely,
Lord.
not up to 3. And
Wow.
he had the privilege of having groups where they read together. I read alone. So I leave school 7 p.m.
Wow.
every day, and I read it alone. So when I get back home, I read again. I get to my mom's shop from 8 to like 12 a.m. I get back to my room and I start reading immediately from 12 to like 3. I sleep, wake up 6, and move to 6. It was that kind of routine, but I did that because there was a vision in front. So
what was the vision?
Before hard work
Yes.
comes vision. Because if a student doesn't have a vision, you will not be ready to pay the price. My vision was, there was a senior of mine that told me that I could be the best student.
Wow.
He told me that point blank to my face, that it's a choice you have to make. You can be the best. And at that time, we didn't have physics, we didn't have a maths teacher in my school. We didn't have further maths teacher in my school. I had to learn those 2 subjects on my own. So because of that vision that I wanted to, I saw myself that I would be in the company of students from the US, from UK, from Ukraine, and different countries, and I would outsmart all of them. So the challenge was, how would I have to read? How would I have to study? What would I give myself to be able to compare with students at that level? You understand? So I knew that at least I should be better than everybody in my class, at least. If I want to get to that
Yes,
level,
at least you start
nobody
from your
in
class.
my class should be better
Better
than
than
me.
you.
Nobody in the class ahead of me should be better than me. So even while I was in SS1, I was better than everybody in SS2. That was how it was. I read that much, so that in SS1 I covered the SS2 scheme. It was that serious because I was not aiming to be best in school. I was aiming to be best in the whole world. So
Wow.
I had to be better than
I really
everybody
love
in
that.
Lagos State. Because so I realized that many people, some of my classmates tried to do what I was doing, but they couldn't. And the reason is that not as if they didn't want to work hard, but they didn't have the vision that I had. And I can't pass it over to them. It's something that has been built into me. So the kind of sacrifices I made, they were not willing to make those kinds of sacrifices. So and I said, well, like I said, I didn't have textbooks. I would borrow. Mine was between 4 and 6 textbooks. At least borrow from my friends, line them up on the table, 6 or 4, and begin to read from each one. So there was nothing.
That's really so challenging.
There was practically nothing you would ask. Maybe I wanted to read digestive system. I'll have taken modern biology, advanced biology,
essential
biology, all the biology, comprehensive, college biology, everything would be lined up. And those were books owned by my classmates that didn't want to read it. So they would bring, and I will have
you can read it for them.
I'll have booked them up. And you bring your own on Monday, you bring it.
Wow.
And I read everything and I give them back. Some even forget that you just keep it because they felt I read it and then I'll come and teach them in class. So they said, let him just
let him do the reading and we will do the playing.
Exactly. So there's a price to pay, but before the work must come the vision.
Wow.
A student must ask himself that at what level do I want to play? Because if you want to play at level C, you will play at level C. When I got to the University of Lagos, my goal was to get to the 5 points. That was my goal. I don't want to have a B in any subject. So when I had my first B, I thought, oh dear Lord, what just happened? Was I sleeping or what just happened? Because I asked someone that
The B was in what course?
physics practical.
Okay.
Physics. Well, they say notoriously they don't give A's. but I had I think 65 or so. So
That's almost close to 70.
almost close to 70.
Almost close to
when
an
someone, I asked when I was in SSU, I asked someone that what is A in university. He told me 70. Then I looked at my result in secondary school. The least I had gotten was 75. So I thought, that means I should get all A's now in the university. But then those B's came in. I even had one C at some point. But then the fact is,
but you know that this same, the way you said I even had one C, at least it's not supposed to be there. For some people they are like you know, as in let me just manage a C.
You know, it's like I said, it's about vision. Anybody, like someone said, if you know where you want to get to, you can start anywhere. If I want to get to Kwara, even if I discover that hey, I'm in one jungle in Cotonou, as long as I know it's Kwara I'm going to, I can sort myself out and get to. But if you don't know where you're going to, that is where you have it.
Wow, this is still WiGRadio, and I tell you, it's really getting so interesting here. I'm getting inspired, I'm getting challenged, I'm getting motivated, and we'll be going for a music break now. And I tell you, don't want to miss what is still coming up. Remember, this is still WiGRadio, www.wigradio.com. You can call us on our studio line. The number to call is +2348182787706. Or you could tweet at us at WiGRadio, or you could send us a message on Facebook, facebook.com/WiGRadio. Don't go anywhere.
Oh God, in all the earth, we lift our hands to worship you. Oh Lord, in all the earth, I glorify your name. In all the earth, in all the earth, I magnify your name. I magnify your name. I've been searching for something special, something that will change my mindset to life, till I find WiGRadio. It's WiGRadio, transforming our lives. It's WiGRadio, showing the way. It's WiGRadio, bringing good news. It's WiGRadio, transforming our lives. It's WiGRadio, showing the way. It's WiGRadio, bringing good news. It's WiGRadio. It's all you need to grow. It's all you need to grow.
Listening to Wisdom Gate Internet Radio. My name is still Olawale Perfect, and we've been receiving messages on our WhatsApp. Okay, this is coming from Ogunyomi John. Thanks so much for your message. And then he's saying, my shout out to Scholar Josiah and Benson. Congrats to the both of you. My question for the two callers is, you are opportune to be the president or Minister of Education someday, what will you change in the education sector? Do you guys have any plans for that? Wow, I think it's really a very interesting question. So, you should become president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 20 whatever. Or you become Minister of Education in Nigeria in 20 whatever. So what would you do? And do you have any plans for that? I believe that Nigeria definitely needs brainy scholars like you in the education sector and in politics. So what are your plans? Let's start with Josiah.
Okay. Thank you, Ogunyomi John, for the question. I really had ideas like that flowing through my mind in the past few months. What really crossed my mind is most students are good, but they don't have the platform to express their brilliance, and that is a part of the reason is because of the present educational system. I was reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about the kind of institution he formed to teach financial intelligence. He was trying to say, in a school, they don't have chairs, so the students don't look kind of corporate. That every student there, they stand up, they learn through playing games, and that is where we are missing it in Nigeria. Most at times, the lecturers and teachers, they teach through the lecture form. We don't learn through games, and games what we learn through games stick easily because it is through a photographic platform. So if I were to be the Minister of Education, that would be the first thing I would do. I will inculcate learning through games into the syllabus, and apart from that, I will work with those in the telecom industry to create a TV station. That's why I'm very grateful and happy for WiGRadio for the thing they are doing, because it is really a platform. Lots of students now are listening to this, and
I'm so excited hearing that.
Through what they are hearing, it inspires them to do more. I kind of ask myself sometimes that what if this kind of platform was on a TV where students will listen to it? We see people that have attained a great height in the educational sector, they will be inspired to do more. Apart from that, I also love to create a season film, sort of, because I have discovered that students love watching films a lot. So why not create a kind of a season film, maybe 4, 5, 10 episodes, where students can take home, insert it in their DVD, and just keep watching it. Through that medium, they will be inspired.
Wow,
that is certain.
That's really so interesting. So, do you see yourself becoming president of Nigeria someday in the future?
Not really, because I know my vision is not in that line. So
but if the offer comes to become president of Nigeria,
I will sure do it. Well, I've really seen myself either as the Minister of Finance or of Education.
Minister of Finance or Education. Wow, God bring your dream to come to pass.
Amen.
Yes, Godwin Benson. You had the question.
What I have to say to that. Okay, well, I would appreciate the author of the question. And first of all, like you said, do I have plans for that? No, I'm not in that line, because I believe I can make impact, not necessarily through the position of having to be the minister or like what I'm doing on Transcendent World has made a lot of impact, even though I'm not the Minister of Education President. But what could be done, I would just shed some light. The issue of education is a complex one. It's not a simple one. I will try to categorize the major players. There are 3 aspects. There is the educational planners. That are those that form the ministers of education, the people that plan the whole thing. Then there are the educational facilitators, those that teach you, those that carry out the plans of the planners. Like your lecturers, your teachers. They can't do beyond what has been planned for them from the guys at the top. Exactly. Then there are the educational beneficiaries, the students, those that are supposed to gain from the whole process. I would make a digression to say that out of those 3, the most important sector, the most important part is the educational beneficiary.
Why do you say
Every
that?
student, irrespective of what his system has or does not have, can choose by himself to carve out an excellent path for himself, whether the environment provides what he needs or not. He by himself. For example, would the government teach you how to use the internet? Would the government teach you how
Obviously
to go
not.
to Google and search for a topic that you were taught in class? The government will not. Would the government give you the desire to become something in life? They can't push that to you. the function of the government is to create an enabling
Platform.
environment. But even if they do create, that does not change who the student is. They are still look at America. There is a challenge they are facing. I learned a recent report said more than 2/3 of the K-12 children, that's 12 years and below, get C in maths. More than 2/3.
Wow.
So that is a catastrophe that, if not handled, will break in the future. But those guys will have to be the ones to replace
In politics
the
tomorrow.
politics and everything, and they are getting less than C in maths. So, and they have the best of the environment that you can have, the best resources.
So what could be wrong?
What is wrong is the person himself. You know, irrespective of where you find yourself in, like history now shows that the equipment were not there, but see how far he has come. Mine also shows that the equipment were not there. In my school, when it rained, it flooded. We don't go to school. It flooded to your waistline.
Wow.
So I learned that education is your personal responsibility. If you want to
Education
wait,
is your personal
it's your
responsibility.
You will choose to educate yourself. If you don't do that, the government cannot do that for you. So, but on the part of the government, there are three. They can influence the three different aspects: the planners, the plan, the curriculum, the quality. You know, everything. We know what has to be done. We know we need a facility in our lab. We know we need a more current and evolving educational curriculum. We know we need that. We know we need more remuneration for the educational facilitators, because if they are not motivated, they will come to class and they will teach you as if they don't want to teach you, as if they are forced to do it. You know, that's why I said it's a complex situation. But I would rather speak directly
To the beneficiaries.
beneficiaries. You have a choice to choose to either wait on the government or take your future in your hands and start to learn. There is nothing you want to know that is not on Google. I tell people that you only need 2 G's in your life: God and Google. Once you have those 2, you're okay.
Wow.
I'm telling you, because I in this short 1 year, I have learned so much, and I never had to go to any school. I've learned so much. All learning is online.
Wow.
So I don't want people to think that we don't have the limit. The limitation we seem to have is actually a mirage. Because, for example, Transcendent World now has viewers from over 140 countries that participate, and it's from a Nigerian here. So what is the limitation? It's just what we think. So I speak directly to the students that you do not have to be limited by what your school has or does not have. You don't have to be limited by what your parents have or don't have. You have a choice to say that I want to take my education as a personal responsibility, and then begin to do the work. If you don't have apparatus in your laboratory, go and look at the one you see online. One day you will hold it in your hands. Wow. You get
that's getting so interesting.
Exactly. So
I have a question for Mr. Josiah Akpan. Let's assume there's a young guy out there who is like, I want to be successful. I want to be the best student in Lagos State, just like Mr. Josiah Akpan. But I discovered that each time I read, I just don't seem to get it. I keep trying, and I know there are several people like that. They keep trying, and it's not as if there's anything. They don't want to work hard. They work hard. They try to read and read, but it's just not coming in. What do you think could be wrong, and what advice would you give to such students?
Okay, to those kind of students, the first thing I would tell them is to form a mastermind, and that is get yourself connected with students that are willing to learn, students that are at the top in academics. Why do I say that? There's a particular student, Olateju Samuel, one of my friends when I was in school. This guy, he doesn't really read that much, but what he does is he comes to class, he asks you a question, and once you answer that question, it sticks in his head. He doesn't open textbook most of the time. So that student can use some of those mediums, because I discovered that most times what we hear also sticks. And it worked for him. I remember in my junior
Secondary
school, when we were about writing the JSC, he came to me one morning and he asked me, what is 100 in French? I told him cent. And that same day, they brought out the question in our French exam. He took the option. After the exam, he was telling me, wow, thank God I asked you the question. I was like, if it was someone else, he would have forgotten what I told him. But that is where discovering your best form of learning comes into place. There are a lot of people that can learn through seeing. There are a lot of people that can learn through hearing. There are a lot of people who can learn through meditating. They just discuss.
So what's your own best method of learning?
Or
you combine everything?
Yeah, because I use more than one combination. It's good to learn through more than one medium. But it's also good to have a major medium through which you learn. And I learn best through reading.
Through reading. Wow.
Exactly. To just buttress that, like you mentioned, there are 3 methods of learning.
Okay.
There's the visual learning, that's based on what you see. Someone like that would prefer to read than to hear. There's the auditory learner, what you hear, and then the tactile, what you experience. So people learn based on those 3. But then, for someone who reads and doesn't understand, most times it has a lot to do with our mentality. Most times, I always tell people that mental limitation is always stronger than physical limitation. No matter what you do, what you think will supersede what you do. No matter what you do. That's why if you don't win a relay race by mistake. you don't think you will not win and then you now win. It doesn't work like that. You have to believe you win to be able to win. So it means that before you can understand, you have to first believe that you actually understand. Because most people open the book and in their mind they are already thinking that I may not really get it. And so no matter how much effort you put in, what you think, your brain is wired to operate by the way you think. So beyond that, so the first thing is settle the fact that your brain is not blocked. You
are not a blockhead.
You can understand. You can. You just have to know what to do and what not to do. So you can. That's the first thing. So maybe someone in that situation would have to consciously tell himself that I can understand anything I read. I can. My brain is not dull. You might have to do that to be able to make yourself believe that you can understand. Because if you believe you cannot understand, you will not want to read because you're like, what's the point? So when that is settled, then you have to look for someone in that situation has to learn how to read and understand. Learn how to read and understand. You know, I think your book, I read some of that in your book. So I think
be careful what you call
impossible. People, I think those that can have access to that book should try and get it because it details some of those mechanisms, you know, that you can use to learn. Because beyond just the effort, you need to know what works best for you. So, like if you're a visual reader and then you're trying to listen to learn, you'll be frustrated. You might learn a bit, but you won't learn as much as like you said. I understand more when I see it than when you tell me. You might tell me something I might not remember, but just send it as just let me see it. It will stick forever because that's very. So I think people should know what works best for them. And then there's one more I should say here. That's what's called the power of association. When you learn a new knowledge, you must tie it to something you already know before. Else it becomes a floating knowledge that will soon dissipate from your memory. For example, if I tell you Apple or iPhone or iPad, you know, in your mind you have connected it to a music device. Music device is an old knowledge. iPad is a relatively new knowledge. You understand? So when you learn something new, you must find a way to tie it to something old you already know. That is what you mean. That is when you actually understand. When you have tied it, it's called the principle of conceptual association. So when you read something new, ensure that you try to tie it to a real life experience, something you know before, because that's the only way it's going to stick. And when you now learn something else, you tie it to this one. Association. So it builds up, you associate it, it becomes a large body of knowledge.
We have a question here. It's coming from a student of University of Ilorin, Mr. Adedonye. Mr. Adedoyin is asking, he said, Mr. Benson, please talk more about Trans Student World. So they want to find out about Trans Student World and how can students of University of Ilorin be a part of Trans Student World.
Okay, for that, I usually like to start with why I founded Trans Student World.
Good.
Why? So that you understand the purpose, and if it fits into you, then you can join it. I discovered that it was actually easy to achieve surpassing academic excellence. Not just academic, surpassing. I realized that I could do something to help students all over the world who might have been challenged in one way or the other, to understand how they can, from wherever they are, begin to make definite progress to become outstanding or extraordinary students. So, and I knew that many people did not really know exactly what to do, and I felt that every person can achieve their highest goals if they knew the right kinds of information. So that was why I started Trans Student World. It came as an answer to the burdens of students all over the world. So the word trans student came from a world of transcendent student. Transcendent there means extraordinary.
Wow.
Because for example, people when I was in school, I had a lot of A's. So people were like, not only you go school, not only you be student, you just they get A. So I carried out a small experiment then, and this was quite shocking. I got a couple of students, I think about 4 of them, and I just tried to share most of the things that I thought I knew. You know, that was as far back as year 3, when I was in 300 level. And one of them, the highest result she has ever had was a B. Most of her results were D, C, DC, DCB, DCB, DCB. So she was on a 2-2 when I contacted her. And then through the things I taught her and the things she began to do, that semester she had all A's.
Wow.
So
that's interesting.
People in her class were all dazed, like, what just happened? Someone on 2-2 had 5 points. It's
strange.
It's strange. It's not supposed to happen. You know, but that made me realize that students perform poorly not because they are not smart, but because they have not known what they should know and do what they should do. So I founded Trans Student World to be a center point where I disseminate as much information as I think I know and I would know as time goes on, to inspire students at different levels to achieve those kinds of results.
So how can people be a part of Trans Student World?
I've created a page on Facebook. You can just search for Trans Student World or go to www.facebook.com/Trans Student World and you see the information there. So you can just like the page and read the things that go on there. Then my website is going to be up in about 2 days time.
Wow.
transstudentworld.com.
Okay. Can people check it out now?
No, they can check it out now, but
okay.
It's still under construction. And you see that information there.
Okay.
So a lot will be going on there. It's going to develop as time goes on, okay, because I have more ideas I want to bring in. But right now, if only you would get on the Facebook page,
okay,
read the articles that I've already put up there, get to the website and read the things I've written so far, at least you'll begin to see changes in your academics instantly. That's how powerful it is. I'm not joking. Instantly, because the things I wrote there will challenge you to the very core. So except those that are lazy, those that are not willing to bring out the best in themselves, they will see those information there as boring. But those that are really ready to take their future in their hands, once you spend 30 minutes on that page reading any of the things I wrote there, you begin to see changes almost instantly.
Wow, so you just had that. Log on to facebook.com/Trans Student World. Trans is spelled TRANS, then student STUDENT, world WORLD. Yes, exactly. Trans Student World. Trans Student World. So just log on to facebook.com/Trans Student World, and of course, in 2 days from now, you can log on to www.transstudentworld.com, and I tell you there will be so much information there. And you just had the president of Trans Student World tell you that spending 30 minutes on Trans Student World page is going to transform your academic performance. So you can take him for his word. He's someone that I know personally. Yes, Mr. Josiah Akpan. there's this question that came in, and that is, what advice do you have for students that put their mind on special centers? Because it's something that is rampant these days, and when we talk about special centers, sometimes it's not even really the fault of the student alone. Some of the time, the parents are part of the people that encourage their children to be part of the special center, and in fact, some of the time, the teachers in school also encourage students to be part of the special center. So what do you have to say about that? And you'll be talking about that right after this break. So don't go anywhere. This is still WiGRadio, www.wigradio.com. Remember, you can call into our studio. The number to call is +2348182787706. We'll be going on this music break right now, and when we are back, Mr. Josiah Akpan will be answering that question.
From Nigeria to America, we magnify God. Yeah. From USA to South Africa, we magnify your name. From United Kingdom to Australia, we magnify your name. You're greater than the greatest. You're glorious in all your ways.
Love this song. I love to praise your name.
Yes, this is still WiGRadio, and I tell you, it's getting more interesting. And before we went on that music break, we were talking about a particular question which is meant for Mr. Josiah Akpan. What do you have to say about special centers?
Okay. What I tell students about special center is, there's no center that is really special. That if you understand that you have a special brain, you don't need to go to a special center. That there are a lot of students that go to the normal centers yet have the best results. I got my results in a normal center. I'm sure Mr. Benson also had his results in a normal center. So if both of us can do that, I see no reason why other students should take a shortcut to the special center. What is the essence of passing an exam without having anything in your memory, in your brain? I had a friend in school. He had good results in all of the subjects except mathematics. He had a D7. So most people were telling him, wow, what will you do? Will you go and take a special center? He said no. The Bible said a righteous man falls 7 times, but yet stands up, gets on his feet. So what I do tell students is, even if you have failed before, that doesn't mean you should go to a special center. That when you fall, there's no gravity. There is no gravity when you fall. Meaning that even if you have failed in the time past, you still have the opportunity to pick yourself up and continue. That make sure your past experience push you to become better, not pull you to become worse than you were before. So that is the major things I have for students that go to special center. Why waste your money on a special center when you could have gone to a normal center and come out better than those that goes to the special center?
Exactly. In fact, you're very correct. You have a special brain. I actually like that. If only people knew how special their brain were. Because like I said earlier in this presentation, that at some point I could neither read English nor solve any math question. But your brain, the fact that you didn't pass an exam does not mean you're dumb.
Sure.
It just means you didn't know what to do, or you didn't do what you should have done. So, and the flip side is that when a student seems to have passed through a special center, where is he passing to really? Is it to enter university? He will be frustrated to the point that he will want to leave. I had a friend, not really a friend, a coursemate. We came into university at the same level, at the same time.
100 level.
100 level.
Okay.
I think he had over, he must have gotten maybe 270 something in JAM or so. And then Pusuem had 90 over 100. Now I had 90. So when I saw that he had 90, I felt okay. So I think there's somebody I can
Okay, I think we have a call here.
Okay, alright.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you are live on WiGRadio.
Yes, I just want to congratulate the two scholars.
Okay. So please, can you tell us your name and where you are calling from? Hello.
My neighbors, we are listening to the WiGRadio, and we just want to congratulate the two scholars.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for congratulating them.
So I'm not the only one listening, though. My neighbors are also listening. Yes.
Wow. Your neighbors, where are you listening from?
Sir?
I said, where are you listening from, sir?
The university staff quarters.
Okay. In University of Ilorin. Hello. Okay. Hello. All right. That was from one of our callers, and he's saying that he's congratulating the both of you.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes. So you can hear them. They said they really appreciate you so much for being part of the program. All right. You can still keep the calls in. The number to call is +234 818278 7706. Yes. You are saying something. Yes.
Yeah, I was saying okay, so that guy actually had 90.
Okay.
Like I did. So when I met him, I felt, oh, so this is someone I could rub mind with. So if you got 90, so I can assume that you're also good.
Student.
Yes. And but at the end of first semester exam, I had all A's. I think he had, out of 7 courses, he had about 5 F's. And maybe 2 D's or something.
How come?
Yeah, exactly. How come? So it shows that he actually used whatever means to get into the university. So what I tell students is, you might succeed at the special center, you might, but you will not last long in a proper university setting. You will be frustrated beyond measure if you have not trained yourself. Because in the university, that's where you actually train yourself in university. What's your opinion?
I believe that university is the place where you go to get universal knowledge.
Universal knowledge.
And if you not for many people, many students see university as it's just a place where let me just go there to go and get the certificate. And I tell you, it's really, really much more than the certificate. Thank God these guys, they have great certificates that they can show for. But hearing them alone, you can see that they also have something much more than certificate that they are talking about. Okay, there's this other question that I would love to ask, and it is very, very important question, especially in this part of the world. Okay, Josiah Akpan, you said your mom was a crayfish seller, and today the story is different. For you personally, at least, I believe that you are doing greatly. Lagos State government gave you a laptop.
Yes.
Congratulations on your laptop.
Thank you very much.
And I don't know what the Lagos State government gave to you during your own time. Or was it just an handshake, congratulations handshake?
I traveled a lot, and I also got a laptop.
Okay, you also got a laptop. Congratulations.
And some money too.
And some money. Unfortunately, when I read it that Lagos State government did not give you money, I really felt so disappointed. I felt so bad that wow. As in, it would have been nice if Lagos State government could have just said, let us help this guy. But I believe that there are some well-meaning Nigerians out there who might be like, wow, this guy deserves it, because we really need to encourage people for such things. But then, I want us to talk about finance. There are some students who complain that the reason why they are not doing well is because they don't have the money. How can such students cope? Now, how have you been able to cope financially when it comes to your academic? Because hearing you say that you have to borrow textbooks, and I'm like, wow, having to borrow textbooks means that because you can't afford it, you really would love to have those textbooks. But how have you been able to cope financially, and what advice would you give to students who are struggling financially? And after that, Godwin Benson is going to be sharing his personal experience, because I know there's a personal experience that he has, which we wrote about in the book, Be Careful What You Call Impossible. So you'll be sharing that experience with us. So, Mr. Josiah Akpan.
One advice I would give to students is, if you know you are not from a well-to-do family,
Yes.
don't try living beyond your means.
Hmm.
I was when I was in school, there are some set of students that were also like me. They didn't come from a well-to-do background, but because they see other people spending on some things, they also want to spend on it. I tell some students that it was until I got to SS1 I started collecting pocket money, and that was 20 naira. And when I
20
take that
naira.
20 naira to school, some students will still ask me for 5 naira for pure water, and I'll still give some to them. It was so worse that my class teacher was asking me, Josiah, why haven't you changed your uniform? I had a kind of uniform that I had to use my bag 247 to cover it because most of the places were torn. It was my class teacher that even got a new one for me when I was in SS3. Funnily enough, when I was to be given the post of the assistant senior boy, because I saw I would have to stand on the assembly, I had to change my belt with somebody else. I had a tattered belt, so I begged one of my classmates that, please, could you just lend me your belt? And you just stand there. So it's about knowing what you really want from school. As Mr. Benson said, have an academic vision. If you have a vision, there's nothing you can't overcome through a vision. There's a saying that says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And there's a place that says, for lack of vision. I don't have
People perish
without vision,
the people perish. So that is where you need to have an academic vision. When you have that, it will take you anywhere. It will make you overcome all obstacles because you know there's something you are focusing on, there's something you are putting your thoughts on, and if you don't achieve that thing, it will be a major disaster. So you move your eyes, your gaze from every other thing and focus your attention on that.
So you just had Mr. Josiah Akpan telling you that irrespective of your financial challenges, keep your eyes on your vision and you will definitely get there. Don't start complaining that it is because I don't have money or I don't have this or I don't have that. Irrespective of what you are going through, irrespective of your financial status, you can achieve your vision. So Mr. Godwin Benson, how have you been able to cope financially? I know you were a beneficiary of several scholarships and you are going to tell us how you got those scholarships. Now, maybe before you tell us, as an undergraduate in University of Lagos, the scholarship you got cumulative would be about how much?
Cumulative, wow.
Yeah.
It was over 1 million.
Wow! You are talking to a millionaire. We have a millionaire right here in the studio. So you are going to tell us how you did it. Yes.
But I should start by saying that it is no excuse can ever be right. As long as it's an excuse, it is wrong. If you are preparing to give an excuse, say it is financial, it is background, it is equipment, as long as it is an excuse, it's wrong. Whatever has to be done, do it. Don't find a way to do it. Like Kenneth Hagin, which is someone I learned about, when I came into the faith. He will say that if there's an obstacle in front of me, I try to go around it. If I can't go around it, I go under it. If I can't go under it, I go above it. If I can't go above it, I have to walk through it. Anyway, I must get to the other side. So there is a life of no excuses. Because the minute you are beginning to accept excuses, you become less than your best. Your brain just numbs. Like Josiah thinking of exchanging belts with someone. He could have said, no, I am not going up to address
because I don't have any belt.
I don't have a belt. Wouldn't that be a legitimate excuse? But the idea to change the belt came because he did not want to accept that excuse. So the minute you accept that finances is a challenge, your eyes will not see opportunities to change that challenge. You get? So the first thing is, don't give any excuse. As long as an excuse is wrong. So my own experience, get ready for this. It's really funny. For those that may have read the book, Be Careful What You Call Impossible, you might have seen a story by one Godwin Benson that may have inspired you in one way or the other. But then, for me, my mom used to give me 10 naira to school in secondary school. At some point, I told her to stop it. I felt embarrassed. That as at SS3, you're still giving me 10 naira. Why you? What's the point? So don't give me 10 naira. So that was out. So that was where I was coming from. So there was a particular. So I was mostly broke, but you know, I will not allow anyone know that I didn't have money, because I didn't feel it was their business whether I had money or not. You know, I just kept carrying on myself. I might drink Gary in the morning, drink the same Gary in the afternoon, but nobody has to know, really. So I got into university. She would send 3,000 a month, 3 times, 1,000 maybe the first week.
In installment.
What would that do for someone in the university?
I understand. I've been in the university system, and I can tell you, in fact, the photocopies alone can take all the 3,000.
You get. So it was. So when a lecturer comes and he says this material, I'll be like, oh my God, why are you giving us material? I can't photocopy this thing. I don't have money, but I won't say it out. But you know, it was that bad. So, but you know, at first, you know, I just felt, let me just cope with the whole thing. As at 100 level, first semester, second semester, I felt, let me just cope with it. But you see, anything you are ready to cope with will not change until you are ready to fight it before it will ever change. If you're coping with it, it will stay with you forever. You know, so I thought that particular semester, I think it was my 200 level or 100 level second semester, when I was about to be resumed. All my mom had was 100 naira to give me to go to school, to resume a new semester. Okay, I had paid the school fees, because during the holiday I did some holiday job, so I was able to raise small money to teach, and I paid school fees. So, but I was ready to go. She just packed beans, packed rice from the house, and just gave me 100 naira. That's all she had. She opened her wallet. I don't have anything, even food to eat in the house. I don't have anything. I collected 100 naira. And out of that 100 naira, 70 naira was my transport fare to University of Lagos. So I got to school with 30 naira to start a new semester that was 4 months or 3 months. That's unheard of. So I felt so frustrated. I just went to buy pure water with the 30 naira.
Out of the 30 naira?
All the 30. I just went to buy 6.
Pure water. Okay.
6.
At least, if I'm going to die, let me die drinking pure water.
Let me drink water. At least I don't want to drink the tap water. Let me die. It's not so clean.
Okay.
Let me drink. Correct. So I just bought. So at that point I had no money.
0 naira.
And I just went on. So, but I just started looking for opportunities to teach here and there to make some money. So I made 2,000 naira, which was like so much.
So like a million to you.
It was so much to me. And so that day I just went to, when the person paid me the money, I went to eat, because I've not eaten rice and meat for a while. You know, this concoction rice and beans we cook in our room that is not nice. So that day I went to eat, and let me just eat and take a drink, reward myself.
Wow.
So everything was 300 naira, so I had like 1,007. So after I paid the money, she gave me the change. I just realized that this money will soon finish. And I will get back to where you started from. So I have to do something to multiply this money I had. Now at that point, I didn't have any business knowledge as at yet. I had not really read about how to trade money and all. I didn't have any experience with that. So, but the only thing I knew was that I had read when the Bible says that, you know, when you give unto God, He will multiply your seed sown and give back to you. So I said, God, at least this is the one I know. I read in the Bible that I can sow my seed to you and expect a harvest. So this thing I have, I don't want to get back to the point where I have to struggle again to raise 5 naira, 10 naira. I want to be able to have money in reserve. So I said, okay, I'm going to take all that money and I will give it to God as a seed, that, Lord, let this be the end of this financial struggle I'm going through. So I took that money it was around that time I came in contact with Bishop Oyedepo, you know, so I said, okay, let me take this money to the church and just give it everything there. So I took all that money to the church, Everything, actually. I took everything to the church. And I forgot to remove my transport fare.
Jesus.
No, not really forgot. I knew that the bus coming back was 50 naira.
Okay.
They would charge us 50 naira. And I told God that I don't want to come back with any of this money. This 170 is a seed, everything. I don't want to come back with 1 naira inside. So, but it was 1,000 naira notes, 500 and 200. So I thought if I give the 1,005 and now go and pay the 50 naira for transfer fare, I'll still come back with 150.
So you don't want to come
so
back.
I said I don't want to come with anything. So I said I will just give everything to God. So I just gave everything in the offering basket. And then
maybe you will trek home
from Ogun State to Lagos. But I was driven by faith. I was just driven by faith that I trust God and I don't want to get back to that situation that I'm coming from. Because God has everything on earth. It's a little thing for Him to channel something to me in my own small corner. So I said I don't want to go back with this money. So that meant, as I gave everything, that meant I was stranded in quote unquote in Ogun State. I stood there. I thought maybe it's God would touch someone's heart to come and tell me that why are you sitting down here? Let's go and all that. I just stood down there. I was just praying that God, I don't want to trek to Lagos and everything. But eventually, everyone left, and I was left in the church. So I said, it seems I have to trek. So I began trekking. From Ogun State to Lagos. Now, I didn't know the way. I'm not sure I had the strength, but what I had was faith. I said, at least the Holy Ghost will direct me. When I reach where to turn, He will tell me turn right. So I said, I will just keep trekking. So I came out of the church. I trekked to the gate. I know the church itself is big. To move from the church to the gate is the distance. When I got to the gate, I started trekking down. And as I was trekking, a lot of thoughts came to my mind. A lot of thoughts came to my mind that, what am I doing? Am I not deceiving myself? But then I knew that if I put faith in God, I cannot be disappointed. So I began to trek, and as on God, I felt discouraged. But then I kept on walking, and later on, as I was going, a scripture came up in my heart where it says that for your shame you shall get double. As I was walking down, my knees were paining me, my legs were hurting and everything. And immediately that scripture, and people around were looking at me like, is something wrong with this guy? Why is he walking? Because nobody walks this distance. And they saw me walking from the church. And immediately that scripture came into my heart, I knew that situation was ended permanently. So as that scripture came in, I began to make confessions. And one of the things I was inspired to say was that companies would struggle to give me scholarship packages. That was what came to my mind. That while I'm a student, companies would struggle. They would run over themselves to support me financially in one way or the other. So I kept on saying that, I kept on confessing it. In fact, I got to a point I was almost shouting it. So someone passing would think that something is wrong with me mentally. I was almost shouting on the road that I would never be poor. This situation would change. I will not go home and beg anybody for anything. I will not be broke. I just kept on saying it as I felt inspired to do so. So I walked and walked. As God will have it. Some people saw me and they asked what was going on, because at some point I had to stop at the middle of the road, and I just sat down there looking very tired. I could not move again. So someone came and he said what's wrong, and I explained. So he just helped me to get to Lagos, and he gave me money, so I paid and I got to Lagos. And after then, I had represented Lagos State in many competitions.
Okay.
And they have given me some form of recognition, but they don't really recognized me as such like that. So after I came back, I think maybe just some days later, I got a letter from the state governor that in recognition of what I had done 2 years back, and I was going to be given some award. And so that was how the laptop came and the extra money. Wow. So I said, okay, God, it seems this thing is working. It is the beginning. And as I went on, scholarship opportunities came up. Most of them I almost did not hear. But God would not allow that situation to pass me by. Somehow the information came to me maybe the day before it was about to end.
Wow.
So MTN scholarship came up. total scholarship, all of them came up, different types. I just applied for all of them, got for the exams, and in the end, I think even MTN did not include my department in their list. So I went there and I told them that my department is not in your list, but I want to take the exam. They said no problem, come in. I even wrote to Total, because in the end I got Total scholarship, I got AJIP scholarship, I got MTN, and I got several ones. So I wrote to Total that I wrote to AJIP because they paid 100,000. Total paid 150,000. I wrote to AJIP that I'm already on Total. If you want to cancel it, you can go ahead and cancel it. They didn't cancel it.
Wow.
I don't know why. They just didn't cancel it. I don't know. Maybe the letter didn't get to them, or they just said, "Oh, just leave it with him." So they didn't cancel it. So I was, normally you should not enjoy more than one oil company scholarship. Yeah. So I was on AJIP. I was on Total with a clear conscience because I have told them. And then MTN, they paid every year. MTN paid 200,000. Total paid 150. AJIP paid 100. And there were some other ones, university scholarship, I got 50,000 several points in time. So I got a lot of money. Wow. A lot of money. Every year there was a lot. So, but it all began when I gave that seed to God, out of faith. So if you're listening to me and you have that challenge, I will not advise you to just take your money and just walk up to a church and just drop it. What I would advise is get to the Word of God, the Bible. Read it till you see something that jumps at you about your finances, and then take that one scripture, standing on faith, because you don't stand on other people's experiences. You must stand based on the faith of God's Word. So you get to God's Word and study the Word and find one thing. The verse I used was that give and it shall be given back to you, full measure, pressed together, shaking together and running over. So I felt that meant if I give, whatever I give, God will give me in abundance. So find the scripture. Meditate on it till it builds faith in your heart, and then with that attitude of faith, you take your seed to God. Then you can also experience a change in your finances. Wow,
that's really so challenging. And I tell you, as a student out there, you are really learning so much from these guys. And I tell you, but we would have to wrap up the program at this time. It's really been so interesting, and I believe so strongly in my heart that we are going to have them in the studio again. I have no doubt about that. We would work on everything possible to make sure that we have them right here on WiGRadio again. But before they go, Mr. Josiah Akpan, is there any final word you want to give to people out there listening to you right now?
What I would like to tell anybody listening right now is there's no limit to what you can achieve if you really work towards it. Fela usually says something. He said, life does not give you what you deserve, but what you desire and determine to get. So I will just tell you to keep focused on everything you desire and make sure you work towards it. As I said earlier, that hard work still works. Diligence still leads to excellence. So if you want to do the impossible, make sure you work hard, make sure you get in touch with people that can move you up. As I said, the mastermind, then the people, your friends, good friends that can make you achieve a good end. Make sure you connect with people that are better than yourself, that can pull you up from where you are presently to the height you want to be. And by God's grace, you achieve the impossible.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Is there somebody maybe in your life that you have the person's phone number and you would like us to call the person on air now, just to say a word of appreciation to the person?
Okay, that would be Janet Adeyemi, my class teacher in SS3.
Your
class teacher in SS3.
Your class teacher in SS3. Do you have a number?
Yes.
Okay, we are going to put up a call to Mrs. Janet Adeyemi right after now. But then, while we are waiting to put up that call, is there anything you want to say about WiGRadio? Is there anything you want to say to us right here on WiGRadio?
Okay, what I would like to say to WiGRadio is you should keep up the good work. You keep bringing people that will inspire others to do more. I've discovered in this part of the world that most media institutions, they don't do programs like this. They focus more on entertainment instead of education. And I love this platform, I love this program, and I would like them to continue it. I would like them to keep bringing people that will contribute to the lives of others positively, and by so doing, the standard of education, the performance of people, and the heights they get to in this world, we improve to a great extent.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And then, Mr. Godwin Benson, what's going to be your final word to people out there who are listening at this time?
Okay, well, personally, I think I've said so much already. But I'll just say that whatever you have learned during this session, make sure you pen it down and go over them again. We really cannot share so much here. And get active on the WiGRadio website and the Facebook page. That's important so that you get continuous, because what you expose yourself to will determine how far you can go. So you expose yourself to the right things that are coming from this platform, and then you can rise higher. So I'll just say that whatever you have learned, there are two things you must determine. What must you stop doing, and what must you start doing? You must be able to bring everything you have learned to those 2 points. Are there things that you have been doing that you need to stop doing now? Are there things you have not been doing that you need to start doing? If you can pen down those two things, then you are highly likely to begin to see changes in your personal life. Thank you so much.
Okay, we really appreciate you for that comment. We really appreciate you also for appreciating us here at WiGRadio. And of course, if there's somebody you would also like us to place a call to, someone you'd like to appreciate, someone who has inspired you, or someone, okay, I think maybe I should ask, are you in a relationship?
Of course I am.
Okay, would you like us to put a call to
she
the
will
person?
be in class.
Okay, she will be in class.
School, yes,
Okay. So is there any other person you would like us to place a call
I would have said my grandma, but I don't really have her number. She just relocated to the US. So
wow, it would have been so nice to call your grandma.
Yes.
It's alright. So, Mr. Godwin Benson, we really appreciate you for coming around.
Thank you.
Mrs. Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Olawale and I'm calling you live on WiGRadio. WiGRadio is an internet radio station. We have one of your students here. His name is Josiah Akpan, and he said that you are one of the people that has inspired him so much.
All right.
Yes, and we would love to say a shout out to you right here on WiGRadio. And people are listening to you on WiGRadio from all over the world.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, the next voice you will hear now is the voice of Josiah Akpan.
All right.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, Akpan. How are you?
I'm very fine, ma.
I was very excited when I saw your message, rather.
Okay, ma. I just wanted to.
And like I told you, I said the sky is not even the limit for you.
Amen.
So begin to soar high.
Amen.
God will see it.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
All right. I really appreciate you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. God bless you, ma.
All right. Okay.
Wow, I can imagine the way she will feel so excited now. So if you are out there listening and you are a teacher, I tell you, keep inspiring young minds. And one day, the same way that Josiah Akpan is calling Mrs. Janet, maybe you might be the next teacher that your students will call one day, as long as you continue inspiring them. I really feel that Godwin Benson should call somebody. So which is on your mind?
No,
Nobody on your mind.
I said you want to call my mom.
Your mom, it will be so nice.
Okay,
She'll be in the...
Call her.
Okay, so let's put up a call to the mom of Godwin Benson at this time. And I'm so sure that she will be so happy and excited about what has happened in the life of our son. And we'll be going on this music break. And when we are back from this music break, we'll be placing that call to the mom of Godwin Benson. Don't go anywhere. This is still Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Olawale and I'm calling you from WiGRadio. Please, am I speaking with Mrs. Benson?
Good
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Mrs. Udo. Okay, your son, Godwin Benson, is right on WiGRadio. WiGRadio is an internet radio station, and we gave him the opportunity to call one of the people that have inspired him so much, and academically, and he said you are one of those people, and then he's trying to say a big thank you to you on WiGRadio. And people are listening to you all over the world. The next voice that you'll be hearing now is the voice of Godwin Benson.
Hello, Mom.
Okay.
Hello, Mom.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just giving a shout out to you from here.
Oh,
Yeah, you're the proud mother of a very successful son.
thank you very much.
Exactly.
And right here at WiGRadio, we really want to appreciate you for nurturing him in the way of the Lord, for grooming him to be what he should be. And we also want to appreciate his grandma, who has also inspired him so much. God bless you greatly, ma.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
All right, ma. Yeah, I'm so happy that we were able to play that call. Yeah. And then for every parent out there, what this tells you is that one day your son is also going to do you proud. This is where we are going to wrap up the curtain for now. My name is Olawale Perfect, and this is WiGRadio, www.wigradio.com. Remember, you can reach us on Facebook, facebook.com/WiGRadio, and on Twitter via twitter.com/WiGRadio. Until I come your way some other time, stay blessed.
WiGRadio, WiGRadio, listen to the word, fulfill your expectation. WiGRadio, WiGRadio, transforming lives globally, transforming lives globally.